Pak. O kui kai whakawhia maarie, ai kai ke whakahoko e he whareni hanga aue. Hiri ai ngahi palomesi mo e tari i he huwhi o e wharearea i he tau takitaha. Ko e tau kotoa, o tataki atu e tokanga ki he ngahi makatuunga e tolu. Ko e moile rei, ako, mo e tuunga whakaikano mika o e whonua. Ka ko e tau kotoa, ko e tari tatau pe, kai ke iai hanga au e makehe e whakahoko. Ki muini mai, na tataki atu e tokanga, ki he pore whakalirifu e whaito o kona tapu. Ka kuhaa mai o ksisi, pe o te eki ke iai ha inasi, e wahe i makehe e he whareni, pe ko e pure anga, ke whakawhepaki i aki, ai pore whaingata a koe ni. O totonu, ke whakamuamua heni a pot ngā e polisi, mo e ngahi wā, o knau whenga e aki whakataha. Ko fuoloa tau, ko e tokolahi o e kau whakafofonga, o kau wai a nihi e whareni, o knau tau mua aki, ai whiri ke he whare, ai ka veinga o e whaitotonu. Ko e wherewa e ngahi whakamatala ngā ue whakatau, ai kau minista. O kui kai whakawhia.
Far tanga e kolo kakala. Ika i ke lava o whakamata, ala e ako tapo mo tau kakapa. E kuminonga i e utulo moa, a o mapua i e whakalongo noa. I wau na whori mui opo opo, kaka ala i Tonga e mai moa. Ka o whakasi o moro, te lena na e laka i whaka ete. A piko me paki a tangata pe mo whawhine, anui e mai Tulutulu pe. Ko o marila tori o tuia o te tō, tua ki tamai e o tusi o whakamani, mani aki e o tulangina e te tari aki o ka wheuria. Kare kure malo mo whare tui papai tofa, ua whanaka waki langi tau a Tonga, mohono masani se ko o ana koruki langi. Mai pai o te re a whanua tanu, kai se maromo a whanua motu, kai tā whono e mui le leu, kou ralai matako i lau. Whiri langa kari wa whakalaha, hoi haki toa o uorewa. Riku tapu mo tatata mo tonga, ko te awea he e te ewa. Mato langi mo whakalanga langa, hoi haki toa lele uta. Patula mo a o wha, whai mua o ta whatongia. O te mua o wakai e ngā iha a akiri moa a tufunga. A malo pea moa a mofuta, a te atau ki a aluma. Toki mai mua si e tawa inga, a atoi a atua a angana. A atu o kau te tala whiria, toki kua nanga ono a ahia. E alaroi ngā i whanga ko whaka o tu, talau whanga e na pea mo pulu pulu. Vai ko pe katake, kei e o tulau, walau e mai ko whanga pe atu. Atu mui le reo kia mo pare a mau, mui utu loa o e longi pe au. No e ka peo, utu matoru, le pai e whanga a polo mahau. Le pai e whanga o polo mahau. Anisi i toke lau whawhana, ke me āmea si te putoka, whakapo pe koa i tēne lava. Si i hinga no mo ula taku, koe rea tuku e ni kau anu, kau e ngā ki hanga i toke lau. Ki whatunga koa whakawhatu a manu, koula a tonga te a mō wawa, koula a ka opa i moe hau. Awe te ino whoa, sio to se i lanaka, ko whangoe uni, whare tui papai. Keke ilo i Hawaii, koe o tangu mai mai, koto o whai a uni tani tani. Awe te ino whoa, sio to se i lanaka, ko whangoe uni o whare tui papai. Keke ilo i Hawaii, koe o tangu mai mai, koto o whai a uni tani tani.
Welcome to Voice of South Pacific broadcast from the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington. Ko whamawhalalea eni ai le teo mo televisione o leo o Pacific Tonga o kutuku te me talanga e malata mo moonga o hatawhea pa me Seattle, Washington, Amerika ko e aho wawalu no maasi o e wafe wanima. Malo la malia ho eiki pe mo lelei ai tonga kotoa wa o kai whamawhalalea i Amerikani pe mo topre anga foki. Hange koia koe tau hiwana tau kamatai, tamatonga tu o ngā ue koe tau kawe i ngā talanoa e ke au ni. Pea o tau kau whatau ki heni. Pea mo vea loa, aia koe founder ia o e Tonga for Tonga Movement, kai pe whauka Lolinita Maue, koe Senior Marketing Communication ia, Product Development, pea me he Tonga Development Bank, pea te tau kau whata moia kai pehe whoki ke Tonga for Tonga, Tulutulu i mafua lo tere Kalaniuvalu. Ka ki moa ke tau kamata, hange ka unganga maheni, tau kamata ki peha lotu, koe ngā ke tāpakina mo whamama e tau polkalama o e aho koe ni. Te ukore atu heni, kia vea loa, Ka taki mo o whae mo ha tau lotu pe tau toki hoko atu. Malo.
Bea?
Malo,
Yeah.
thank you.
Can
Okay,
you say the opening prayer?
Yeah.
Okay, Malo.
Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we come before Thee as servants to Thee. We humbly ask that in today's communication that we may say things that pleases Thy will of the heavens, and that we may be able to come together as the people of Tonga, a country dedicated to Thee, and represent the people in a positive way for a way forward and a way that is compliant with the path that God has set for us. We thank Thee, Heavenly Father, and Jesus, for all that Thou hast done for us as a people. And we ask Thee, O Lord, to put a special blessing over us on the islands and us abroad, that we may understand that we are dedicated to Thy work and that we may humbly continue to work and be a beacon into this world, for the path of God is the only path. We thank Thee so much, O Lord, and we ask Thee for a blessing on us today as we continue to discuss Thy will. We say these humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Malo.
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 Koe, o sen ko tau hoko atu ki he ki konga ula ki pe mua koe tau whalafola pe a ene a whio kintu po wono mahalo oku ki I minitsi I pe a Oscar pa te tau hoka tuai pe ai koe whirimutok whahoa a koe Silvia Fatima aho ka ilo I pe he tokolahi koe Fatima pe a kokohoa ngā weeni
Brenda Kongaika.
ko ia Brenda Kongaika. Ka te ukole ngai ni ke tuku atu mo a ata koe ni ai video koe ni neonga pena mau tuku ate konga ulaki ka whea mau pe ke toi mea mai ki ai aho tau kainga. Before we even continue on, we'll play this video from King Tupou VI that was from the Tonga Parliament.
O kui kai whakawhia maarie, ai kai ke whakahoko e he whareni ha ngā aue. Hiri ai ngā he palomesi mo e tari I he huwhi o e wharearea I he tau takitaha. Ko e tau kotoa, o tataki atu e tokanga, ki e ngāhi maka tuunga e tolu. Ko e moi le rei, hako, mo e tuunga whakaikano mika o e whonua. Ka ko e tau kotoa, ko e tari tatau pe, ka I kai ke iai hangau e makehe e whakahoko. Ki muini mai, na tataki atu e tokanga, ki he pore whakalirifu e whaitoa kona tapu. Ka kuhaa mai o ksisi, pe o te eki ke iai ha inasi, e wahe I makehe e he whareni, pe ko e pure anga, ke whakawhepaki I aki, ai pore whaingata a koe ni. O totonu, ke whakamuamua heni ai pot ngā e polisi, mo e ngahi wā, o knau whenga e aki whakataha. Ko fuoloa tau, ko e tokolahi o kau whakafofonga, o kau wai ai nihi he whareni, o knau tau mua aki, ai whiri ki he whare, ai ka veinga o e whaitotonu. Ko e wherewa e ngahi whakamatala ngā ue whakatau, ai kau minister.
Ia, nā motok mea mai ia ke tō whalafola e ne a whio. Ia, o kei mea ko whatonga I whamamafa. Ko e hā e tau ngā ue o whai ke whanua, ka ko e ne tō whalafola whake ni ai tamatui, whekau aki, pa ngahi ngā ue whatongia ko ia e kau taki pure anga o tonga. Tuku atu, Brenda?
Ko ia. O mauinga fo ke tau whakataha koe ni I he pongpongi ni. O mauinga ke toi whanonga pia ni hiko ni I muri hange ko mātolu. Ke kaweinga mahuinga koe ni o si tuku mai he tamatui. Ke he paenga ko tawa pe o media network. Tau ko tui koe ki whakama ala koe ni te tau whakahuko he aho ni. It's gonna help support e ngahi mea ko tawa pe whina ngaro ke tamatui. Pe mo ka hau o e whanua. small input.
Malo apito, te kolenga pe mo aheni ke ta e peki fai fasi ko ni pa me he lomi pe au. Ke o atu ia ma ki tau tolu ko tau pe tau kaufa taha ko i loto ni. And after this, we'll continue on. It's only like 20 seconds.
Thank you.
Kino ko wata tal lele katoa ki motolu ki he paengani pa whamalo atu anau to poniua i he kau mai ke tau polokalama e aoni. O ko kore whamole mole atu pe me he paengani ke mauhanga mo a share atu e polokalama he mahu inga foki ke tau whanongo katoa ke ngai talatalai whare o whai koe langa hake o whanua Tonga for Tonga. Ko ia, te tuku atu mo whainga maari koe ni, ka te koe vea loa. I'm going to give you the first opportunity, if you can go ahead and tell us, I know that you're the CEO and the founder of Tonga for Tonga movement. So tell us, about what is the purpose of Tonga for Tonga and what is something that you wanted to see to make a difference, in the people's lives of Tonga, the friendly islands of Tonga.
Thank you for your time today. So I have a unique story. I was born in Hadeho when I was a baby, and then I was adopted into the United States and had a wonderful upbringing. And then last year, when His Majesty called for people that have moved overseas to come back and help the country, I kind of took that to heart. So I went back last April and I started observing areas that could be improved if we were to implement a strong private sector. And so later I met Tulu and learned of thoughts that he had, and together we decided to form Tonga for Tonga, which is a private sector NGO. And what we are trying to do is we are trying to bridge the gap between where government stops and the needs of the people. So we have formulated a 50-year development plan, and we are taking the steps to try to better the people's lives and where we're seeing the public policies stop. And so this is very directly people-oriented, and we're trying to betterment the lives of the everyday person. And Tonga for Tonga is very much a collaboration of many experts across many countries, all with the idea that if we can advance from within and advance as Tongans and to develop as Tongans, then we can control the destiny of our kingdom. And that is the aims and the goals for Tonga for Tonga. Malo.
Anything that you want to add on?
Oh, you talk. That's very interesting, Vea, and I'm so happy to see that you're interested in guiding and leading, hey? Of I think what you're doing is encouraging young people que now aluke politic with a new set of mind, eh? O hangepe kon kotulu, okay? It's something that we're looking forward to. He utau tokoni ki Tonga, support ya Tonga. Ihe funky donation with support, financial support. That's what I'm trying to say. Ka o kai ke hatau major part ke tau collaborate me mulini to Tonga and let them know how much we support whoever runs for the ke pureanga. Because I'm participating i pongpongini mainly. Kono nga Kotulu, he's a child of ours from Seattle, Washington. Okay, we mold and raised, and we formatted a platform que now fight teriha now tokoni fight ke pureanga. And I think this is the first one that we've had. It's almost like, it takes a whole village to raise a child. So we're one of these villagers that we really, really want to be part of helping Tonga by bringing some kind of a different mindset to helping out the young ones that coming in. Collaboration is a key. To me, it is. Intro bigo many years back. But this is the first time we each run our own radio. Because this is who we are. When there is something important, so greatly for us and proud of, to be part of, is to help Tulu, help him and help you, the CEO of Tonga for Tonga. And then the young lady on the side, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm just that's my part of being here. And I love to share and to help Tulu make it. Not just leave it there, make it.
Absolutely. So Tonga for Tonga, we notice that in order to have a good functioning economy, you need 3 ingredients. And in the kingdom, you need to have the private sector, and you need to have His Majesty, and then you need to have the government. It makes up a triangle. And what we found is, discussing with the people out in the villages, I asked them a simple question. Is your life better now than when we started this Constitution 15 years ago? Or is your life worse? And a lot of the responses I get from the people out in the villages is their life continues to struggle and it continues to be worse. And so what we've done as a Tonga for Tonga movement, as a developer, is we need leadership that can adopt new ways of thinking and new development. For years, it seems like our political stance has been met with corruption and votes of no confidence and very negative things. And that is sad to me. And so what we're trying to do in Tonga for Tonga is we're trying to rally positive things and unify so that we as Tongans, if we are going to be able to develop in this modern world, and if we're going to be able to grow, we've got to come together and we've got to unify and we've got to put in positive programs. And that's what we're trying to do with Tulu. So Tulu is the first of many representatives that we're going to endorse for this coming election. And Tulu takes his District 10 and their needs very personal. And it's been really exciting to help Tulu formulate his campaign. And we look forward to endorsing many more people that we can come together as a people of Tonga and that we can unite. And under God's will and under the King's direction, we hope to instill development on a positive means, on a way to be able to produce. At the end of the day, we have got to start producing. Our GDP has to go up. Yes. If we don't balance our budget and continue to grow our GDP, we will never be able to be free from foreign aid. And as long as we are taking foreign aid, we are promising favors, or we're leaving room for corruption, or we're leaving room for outside forces to be able to develop our country. So Tonga for Tonga is about unity, about positivity, about reaching out to those people that want to stand up like Tulu in their districts, so that this November we can implement a government of change for the positive, so that we can instill hope to the kids graduating from university, yes, that they don't want to run to another country, that they want to stay and help build Tonga because there's hope for in Tonga. And that's the great thing about this movement, is we are a great people, and we are a people dedicated to God. And if we finally start working together, we can achieve amazing things, just like our ancestors did. And that is what we want to spread, is tomorrow is better if we unite and help build today.
Mm-hmm. That's Hello. Right. Hello.
Oh, yeah. Oku whamalo mai tō la hiene ki hen whaki pia mo tauhuni halapopoa pa me Australia. O pe whaki ka sala te hele tārilo, nau kau mai pa me New Zealand. O nau whiawhia au pito I he whanonga mai ke polokarama o hani. O te mausio ki numbers going to go ask it lo tohe, a lot of it are hidden inside. Ka aku tokolahi au pito aki nau tolu ko tau kau whataha. Pea mau kore atu pe, mo whamore more share atu. He ko inga ko this is Tonga for the good of all. Whamalo atu I he, thank you so much, Vealoa, for the great mission that you have and the vision that you have for the country and to help the people of Tonga to grow for a better future. And also, I did not even realize, so you're an American boy going back to Tonga.
Yeah, I tell everybody, it was interesting when I went back last year, because growing up in America, but being born in Tonga, I loved where I was in America, but nothing ever felt home. When I got off the airplane last year for the first time returning to Tonga, when I stepped off, I felt home. So I tell everybody now, home is where my heart is, but my heart's in Tonga. So that is, why I've decided this year to move to Tonga. Right now I'm back in the States rallying some business deals. I was in Thailand earlier this month. I was doing some supply chains up through Asia. And I'm kind of on this tour of, okay, what do we have out there with our neighbors that can help this vision in Tonga? But I'm so excited to return home to my little place in Hadeho and get back to work. So even when I'm not there, we're still working for the betterment of Tonga. Sometimes you just have to reach out and raise some finances, and that's what we're doing right now. Tulu, if you'd like to talk a little bit about the 4 areas, Tulu has adopted 4 areas of our 50-year development plan into his election for his constituents. And they're really important cornerstones that he's grabbed onto. Tulu, I'm going to let you explain a little bit about those 4 quarter areas that you're focusing on that are in line with Tonga for Tonga's 50-year development plan, but what you're implementing now and how you're going about doing that.
Malo.
Pamalo pite whenga maari koe nuku o mai ke he motuani, ka e whahoko atu ai ki lawe hoko atu lere I tau pōtara noa. Koe mhape na mō mea pe ke tō wholofola koe e ne awhio, na iai mea e whā na e tō wholofola ki ai e ne awhio. Koe uraki, koe mo ui lere I, koe ua, koe ako, koe toru, koe tūnga wha ekonomika e whonua, pea whā lewa koe whaitoko na tapu. Pea taimuku nei whai koe ai tō wholofola koe ni mohanga puke mai ai tō wholofola koe ni koe hoko ia koe a se nika ia a mautoro. Ange pe mo mea ai ka pate mo mea ai ke tonga whotonga o kulahi ia, o kulahi e ngahi whotutu ngā ue ia ai tonga whotonga. Kau mohanga pe o mai foi whā ko inga koe mea mauhinga ini o ku tō wholofola ki ai ene awhio. Pea koe mea lewa nei whahoko koe he tonga whotonga whai lewa e whengau e atangona mō mea I pe ai pōtā noa mo tō taha koe ni ko Pea Law, ai founder koe mo CEO koe ai tonga whotonga. Koe hae mea koe te maulawa o whengau e aki, e whaha whengau e aki. Mo tonga whotonga hangbe kona mō mea ai, o hanga tonga whotonga o intosi e motuani. Pea koe motuani oku iai lotolahi ai motuani ke whaha whiri wharearea me I Novema me I tonga tapu hongo fulu. Pea mō mea I pete wate ki geographic ai tonga tapu hongo fulu. Ko tonga tapu hongo fulu oku kamata ia me la paha o lere ai ki niu tō ua. Ai koe kolo e tahataha mo I moto e taha. Ai koe kolo e tahataha me la paha ki niu tō ua. Pea mō kau mai mo e weiki ai. Pea hanga pe ko kulawe atu. Hanga lewa e tonga whotonga o tō lewa. Ai fo I a se nita ko ia koe tō wholofola koe me a whio. Koe mou I le rei, koe a ko, tunga wha ekonomika, pe pehe ke he whaitoko na tapu. Pea koe whotutu koe ai tonga whotonga, ki mua he kuata maasi. Hanga lewa he tonga whotonga wahe ke kuata e wha. Kuata maasi, kuata sune, pe pehe ke kuata setema mo kuata tisema. Koe kuata maasi, koe taumua koe ai tonga whotonga, ke o mai hangahi mea, ke lawa ke tokoni, ke he ako koe whanau. Pe whamaloa pito ke he Tonga Development Bank, ke he nau whetokoni aki, whaha whengau e aki, pea mo e tonga whotonga, pea pehe ki he Tonga Development Bank. Te uhampe ki whamalaala pe he ta whako e ni. Koe motuani ia o kai ke hapaanga apuia. Ka koe mea koe ko malohi ai a aku, ko whamalo ke tonga whotonga, no hanga whalo tō lahi koe au. Ka paupete mo ki whakaukau pe ko au ko I loto maari e. O ku kai ke hapaanga, o kai ke hausos. Hange pe mena u lawe kia ni nei. Ka koe mea ko malohi anga, malohi e koe ai motuani, koe tuki. Knock on doors. Ko taimo o ku mea mai o lera te mutua o whai tala noa pa mo ka kai koe wāhenga. Koe hae nau ngai whe mau, pea o kore le waia ki he tonga whotonga, ke nau ngai whotutu. Pea lawa koe a tonga whotonga, pea o saipe o ku hinga meu tau he nia pea mo e tō tahako Lolinita a Maue, e toki mea mai anai ke ngai polkalama ai Tonga Development Bank. E whai lewa ai whengau e aki. Pea mo Tonga Development Bank, koe hae nau tokoni koe e whe mau koe ki he tokoni koe ki he kāinga koe o wāhenga. Pāme ku lawe te whaosha ki pē, koe kuata uraki, koe mau mai whanki computer. Computer koe nā ka pau pē na o se hanga pēo whaitā ia te utā koe ni nei, ai whengau e aki koe Tonga Development Bank, pēr mo tonga whotonga, pēr pehe ke motuani. Koe kuata sune o mau mai e whanki affordable housing. E malawa ke tokoni, I he wāhenga, e whai whengau aki pēr mo Tonga Development Bank. Koe kuata septema lewa o mau mai cash crop. Koe cash crop koe ngoue, e o mai ia, hange pē, tau poki pē ki he tō wholofola koe ne a whio, koe tūnga wha ekonomika koe whonua, pē e lawa ia
o mai cash crop o hinga ko tuunga whaka ekonomika ko whanua ki o mai ki kakai o whanua tau te whitere wahinga whika o fruke nau tō ai ngoi ko ni o Maue nau Maue. Ka koe kuata whamui muire ko kuata ki se ma ko sio ki he ke whai toko na tapu mo tuunga ko o ki ai koe ngai porka mo koe whika o aki koe pia moe whine mātua koe wahinga. Ai ko whai step ue wha o ko mau to'o i e taimimi ke whahanga au i ki ai. Malo.
So Tulu identified those 4 areas that he said would be an improvement for his constituency. And so Tonga for Tonga quickly jumped in and worked with the development bank to set up some loan products that would be beneficial to be able to help not only Tulu's constituency, but also every constituency that exists in the kingdom. So we're really thankful for leaders like Tulu coming to Tonga for Tonga and pointing us in a direction that would help the people right now. And ultimately right now, we've got, with the smart box computers that he mentioned, we've got the first box being implemented out there in District 10. But at the same time, we've been working with the Department of Education minister, as well as the World Bank. And I believe they're on the final stages that they can fund a project from the World Bank and implement it to where hopefully we can get one of those online smart boxes to every constituency. Second, with the affordable housing, we've been working with the Development Bank to offer a product, as well as I've been traveling the world to make sure that we can have the most competitive product available to the people of Tonga. And I found and contracted with manufacturers to be able to get them true affordable housing. And then third, what I'm doing over here right now in the US is I'm working with a lot of farmers to be able to introduce, and we're working with the CEO over at agriculture to be able to bring in cash crops to help supplement the farmers in making more money off of their farming. And then fourth, we definitely want to focus on the backbone of where I see Tonga growing. And this is based on stats for education. 70% of the females compared to 30% of males are graduating a high school equivalent or higher. And I just strongly believe that women in general have kind of been like a second tier person in Tonga, but they are also the most educated right now. So we want to be able to improve the woman's life. And there's a lot of products and a lot of businesses that we're going to start rolling out to be able to help the women entrepreneur as she wants to get involved in the private sector or wants to get involved in a leadership program. And because I think that there's just a lot of resources that we have, because in Tonga, our women are more educated than the males. So men, we got to step up. But at the same time, women, I'm a businessman and I know I'm going to place my bet on somebody that wins, and women are winning right now. So there's a lot of programs that we want to do that in the fourth quarter to be able to enable them to thrive, as well as we've got a drug pandemic. And that comes a lot back to be able to give hope. When these children get bored, they have nothing to turn to, and the adversary comes in and does his work, and he tempts them. And if we can get this younger generation to understand that Tonga is going to build in a positive direction and give them hope, as well as work on some reform in the judiciary system so that our minors aren't being thrown in with adults when they are convicted, and have a true juvenile system go in to protect our minors. I strongly believe that focusing on these 4 areas this year sets us a great foundation for the next 50 years of development. And that's why we're so excited to introduce this and to move forward with this is we've got to get people, we've got to get people learning, because it's all about education. B, we've got to get people being able to live and feel secure, because they need a house. They need to feel secure. C, we've got to get people producing and making money. And then once we start making money and they feel safe and secure and they're being educated, we need to focus on our problems. And drugs are problems, domestic abuse are problems, opportunities for women are problems. So those are the quick synopsis of this year and what we're doing. And it's just been awesome. It's on schedule. It's moving forward. Things are going great. And we're just building the momentum. And we hope that by building this momentum, we can get those leaders to step up in the other constituencies. And we hope that come November, we've got 17 endorsed Tonga for Tonga leaders that can help take this initiative and this movement to the next level. Linda is here. She's our liaison with the Development Bank. Her and CEO have been instrumental in helping us get this affordable care home package, loan package going, so that if the people of Tonga need to leverage finances, we have products for them too. So Linda, I'll turn it over real quick to you to explain, and we can just continue this momentum of Tonga for Tonga. We are all Tonga for Tonga.
Thank you. Thank you, Nate. I'll come in, and but before I do, I'd like to thank this platform so that we now have a platform so that we can converse and discuss anything that will help for the betterment of our lives of the Tongan, wherever they are. I just want to say good morning this morning here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, to all our listeners, and also whakamalo atu ki tonga kotoa peo mo mea mai I he pongpong ini. Te ui tala noa te tau rea whakatonga, whiwhiala hea pita Fatima ka uma Brenda, I he mao whainga maari e koe ni. So, ko kuingoa ko rinta Maue pia ko whatongia I he pangea e whonua. Koe pangea whakawhonua kuilo, koe pangea langa whakalakalaka o Tonga. Tonga Development Bank. Brief history. Taiwa whitwhitu nai hanga I he la a hono wha o Tonga o whotu e pankeni. Panane whotu uia ke develop a economica ai whonua. O kai sektoa nima. There are 5 sectors that they are the focal sectors o e panke. O tokanga e panke ki agriculture. Hange koe mea tala no kia a vealoa. Education. Toko ni I kinau tolu. Koe tourism. Koe livestock. Koe fisheries. Koe u sektoa ia nima mo mea I peki mo tolu. O tokoni ki mauanga paanga ko ia e whonua. Kai kehe, te whoki mai o koe ki kawenga ngā ua e panke o iloa haamoua ke langa a Tonga. Haamoua ke langa a Tonga. To build Tonga, we will need 2 arms or more. We will need 2 arms or more. Ko hono uhi ngā kalawalanga ho tau whonua. Tuma ke utala no ati, ta whaaki koe ni I he me ai ua. Ko whawhehu iange pa me Amerikani, me Amerika mo New Zealand mo Australia, ai ka kai Tonga koe no fuai, pe anga whewhi, a whakahoko ang hanau ki no ki Tonga. He toko ni a ki he polkarama koe ni. I just want to cover a couple of things. Number one, there have always been questions from the Tongan of the diaspora, regardless wherever you are. How can we have a loan to Tonga? Because we have land. We have land in Tonga that we want to use, we want to utilize. And then number 2, I want to talk about the program, this beautiful program that Tonga for Tonga and also Tulu is bringing on to Tonga. Number 1, whika uluaki. O ka pau o ko ke whakaamu, ke whakaawaha o ki akau ki Tonga. And that's the first thing o e tau maheni. Whakaawanga ki akau ki Tonga. Ko whakaawako ki akau ki Tonga, pake tokanga rewa tātānge pe hoki sēni tiki Tonga. We have some customers from the States. And what they're doing, they've opened an account to Tonga Development Bank, and they send their money. I know majority of them, they're using a company called Wise, but anyway, it's come perfectly fine and reach their account in Tonga. So once they do that first stage, the bank knows them. We have a relationship with them. Do you notice that everything is about relationship, right? Everything is about building a great relationship. So they're building their account in Tonga, and the bank knows them, who they are, their income and all. That's number 1. Ka koe ha whehui te ke toke eke mai pe koe pesa e panke, koe pe pesa e panke, ave Tonga Development Bank hu ke ai tohi mai ai e ke mai au fehui. Ko e wale va ko feta la noa ke pol kalama ko eni o affordable housing. Ko the core function of the bank is to do loans. But when I know ko ya no fale, porque happy no me alele, no ke fama, no ke funky business. The focus e pongpongini I he no ko e ke no foanga. Ai ko fata haya pa mo polo kalama ko ni. Ko no ko ni ke polo kalamani nelele anga tulu ka ma no partner ko ia ko no hoa mo ko ia tulu. Ko hoa moa, ko tonga for tonga. Aya na lele ange ke panke, he una fie Maue ki naua, ke develop whaka ekonomika a hono vahenga. O kutalango fua ia ki he fo I poini ko ni ai tamatu I talamai, tokanga ke ako, pa tokanga ke langa whaka ekonomika e fonua. O existe panke, ke langa whaka ekonomika e fonua. Pa I he na lele ange, I he na me ange ki panke, ko kurou lewa au ko whakasio ki ngahi product ko ni. Na tala noa mai rewa, tēnā malawa I ki naua tonga for tonga o omiha ngahi whale affordable housing ko hinga koe kakai koe whonua. Pa ko whakamalo heni ki tonga for tonga. Because Tonga for Tonga is not limiting himself to just Tonga Tapu 10, but also for the whole of Tonga. So Tonga for Tonga, thank you for that, because you're expanding your wing to the whole of Tonga. But he na me ko ia, na kuhanga le wawaka, he ko whatongia ia, ta koe roll koe ni, koe fie mau koe ni, o kulere ia ma Tonga kotoa. Ko tui e tūlu ko tau kainga Tonga no Amerika, ko iloi ko Nusilani o toko I he tahakilu, Australia ko whawufu ke toko whamano po ni mamano. Ko tui ko mautol mahalo pe ki he fitu po koe walumano. Po koe kainga Tonga ko ia, o koe homo kere I Tonga. Po koe kere ko ia, ko ngai kere, hanko e lot maari e koe ne whai e loa. Na whanongo ke ne lotuna ne pe, ko eni e whanua, Loa, I'll cover this in English. I'd like to thank you for your prayer because you brought up a very important point. Tonga was given to God. The land, the people was given to God. And now we are bringing in a program for the people of Tonga, wherever they are, whether they're in New Zealand, Australia, America, or whether they are in Tonga, to bless the nation. And to do that, we need to have dreamers. We need to have people that have vision, focus, and work on their mission. And of course, the main thing as well to bring these visions is money, funding. And that's where the bank is coming. The bank has been established to develop the nation. The product we're talking about, how can you develop, how can you build a house? How can you bring in a house like this program? So now I'm going to set the path. If you're here, if you're there in America or Australia or New Zealand, and you have land in Tonga, and you might have thought, oh, my land, I'm not going back to Tonga. Hey, that land has been blessed. God has also opened another door for you in New Zealand, in America, overseas. And then we have this great program that Tonga for Tonga is bringing, and it's for the whole nation. Kau kai hata hau ke mea mai ke polo kalamani, pa koe whakaamu, ke langa hau whare ki Tonga, koe ulak me ape en pe, te ke ngau ake polo kalama koe no ko mai, ko hono ota, pa mono huma ngai whare, ko o si prefab pe ia, pa koe pankere, pa tu utari e panke. O ku e whakahu pe ia koe ngai foi no molo pe ia, housing loan, he koe mea ia panke o whai. Koe ki konga whaketaha, ko tu ki ngai tau ki moane ki ri fia pe panke e ko nga ki he ko nga ko ne sio ki ta fa ko ni ka nga Tonga no fomuri ka ko fe ui eni ko hai ko pa anga ko ki mo tolu Tonga no fomuri ko pa anga pa to ya mo tolu kere. So to build Tonga we need arms, we need so many arms. Tonga for Tonga, you need the bank, you need the private sector, you need the policy. Ume aka toa ko ya e te nau tokoni kono langa atonga. Ko ia koe panke, no fope panke mo paanga. Ka kou tofa atu e ahoni ngai me e whaka amu koe ki ai. Toa ngai o kere ko lak me e whai ake malui. He koe whare e hiri ai kere. Pai whiwire vai panke ka koe kere i hingoa o hai. Ko koe ku keno fomuri ka koe hako ngā kere. Whakapapaui, koe kere ko ia tuai o hingoa, le se sita o hingoa, ko hono uhinga, ka tō glawarewa e tau ngā oe atu i he tuu koe ni. Back to you, Laura.
Palo.
Very nice. Okay, Fehui, while we're still fresh on the subject, Linda.
Right.
Koe mea lelei o tau whanongi ai.
Aukito.
This is like a innovated process here. You know, we've heard politicians from Tonga, from page to page, individually, and I see finger going now. So that it elevates. Why are we doing this? What for? Ka mea ko whanong he whakarea Alinda, okumahu inga. He kono inga from here, from the United States, te lea pegi Amerikani. Koe ngahi mea ko umau whepaki mo ia I he nipe koe ngahi. Koe si iomi ko atonga, okuna uomi I he different colors of needs, wants, and everything. He? E hawe koe na langa whare rotu, hawe koe, mea iwi koe. But what was so delicate, I feel mau. But delicate in mau whinga koe ani koe leaders from each community sector. Ke whinga I have a process. Ke lava ke mau whetau lake, ke lava whau ha mea, ke fundraise. Ka koe ka whupangea Tonga Development Bank has all the resources.
Yes.
Now my question is, Linda, so I'm thinking ahead of time ke tau whau he Tonga for Tonga, me ngahi sector katoa pe uwhanua muri, ke ha tau whainga networking process, ke lava ke tau whipikini mai. He kono inga ko individual output o saipe. Ka koe network, koe mea langa, ma ue me whe, koe hae, koe pia mue cost. He lava ke tau educate a public view, me Tonga pe mo whanua muri. Oh, ko whakalere e au e tangai si mako ma, we'll get it from here. Ngai resources ko ia, e lava ke tau packed and then share, I feed o programa Tonga for Tonga.
Network.
Yeah, he ko Amerikania oku, I would say, oku whaingo fua, ke ilo pe e vea loa, with all respect ki a koe, you've been here, you did all the studies and mo whakaukau pe koniku ke he...
Os loia pe vea ko whai kukona vea loa.
Whatutu koe o ngahi mea koni. Ka whatutu e ngahi networking branches. Pe ai pe mo identification ki ai ki he whetu utaki. Pe mo anga hono funding. Pe toki tukat ke wakai ki alinta e mo mea ko mea ia atonga. Pe ko hea lewa ngahi share process financially. Ka ngā pe whakaukau atu. Mea maa mo oni ko whakaukau I hono o mai. Right here. He platform.
Koia.
Pe lawa ki tau whanongo ki he whie mao atonga.
Atu pe kui malo o pita prentai vai vahe. Atu pe ki tānaki koe ni. Whanongo kātoa koni ka moulea e tau panelist koni he aho ni. O koe e mea ko manatu I wake manatu ki he kawe I whaa ko la ko atonga. Pa ko kisio kai wha I kawe inga koe ni e whaa koe ni na e tuku mai koe tō whalawhala koe e tamatui. Ke mo ui lelei ai e kuhange koe ngai tau mua ngāwe e koe atulu. Kai ngai visione pe koe misiona ki ha ngāwe ke hoko ia ko hataha ke tōni e. Ke mo ui lelei, koe number one thing ia I he mo ui koe a tau tolu. Ka pako ha te mao ha miliona ka kai ke te mo ui lelei. Pea oso o whakaofa o pito e tō unga koe whawhare mahak, tō whawhaito o ko atonga, ki whantongoni o tau kakai. Whikaua, koe a ko, promote and education, you know, E ko alfa tahe lo tupe mo mag na whekau aki. I hono langa hake ai whakangawe whakalakalaka. Also, number 3, ko Tonga economics, you know. Ko halewa me ai tupulaki ai e mo ui ko e whonua mo ngā wepa mo hono langa e whonua. Ko economic is also like one of the number one thing. It's for the whole country of Tonga. Ko whika wha, ko drugs violence prevention. You know, ngai whaunga ke whai aki hano tata ofi, ai ngai whai to'o kona tapu e ne huat ki Tonga, pe mono ngawe aki mono uisi ai kakai oi whonua. Pe ak tau sio pe hoko pe ngai wheitu u kotoa pe. Ka koia pa koi ki tau ki wheitu u si he na e nofo pe ko nofo ka Tonga, ko nofo a family. You know, it takes a village to raise a child. Pe ak tau sio leva, ko e nia ko kehe nia he taimin. But thank you so much, you know, for all that you're sharing. It's very touching. You know, now I can see the mission of all of you guys, you know, wanting to how to build up, you know, the government of Tonga, especially Tulu is running for Tonga Tapu Hongofulu district, Vahenga Hongofulu. Ko e whafoki lewa ai manatu ki he ngai fo quote, famous quote ko ia John F. Kennedy. Nane pehe. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Ko tau mea eni ko whanau ko mo ngai talatalai whare mo ngai vai. That's all, you know, ko mea eni ko mo langa hake. Ke toko ni I aki ai whanua ai pure anga ai hako tupu the upcoming generation of Tonga. Ko ia pe tau hoko at malo.
Malo.
Mari. Papo papito.
O kore pe mo ke ta et pe mo ta ki fast ko ni ko just a little ki 20 second pe ta I mai ai homa ko ha ko me.
Ai fasu tulutulu mafua yo tele.
Ta me pe fast la kalaka ko e fono a weta na me ke ko la kalaka. Ta me ke fast ko ke tau ai. All of you that tuning in, going to malo apito mo kau mai, malo apito to kasi pao ngok fia apito, namai malo apito tutul Kalaniuvalu. Mo kinau tol to lahi apito kinau tol mi to pe anga, mo fa malo mai ka Lolinita Maue, mo kau to kon lahi ke kakai o Tonga, ya to kasi pao ngok tapuaka.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Ko ni ko ya kau palangi ko ni ko Man Roof Grand Nations building. Tonga for Tonga. Ko tamai our amazing topic with you guys, amazing topic discussion. Fa fe ta be ki motolu. Ba ku watu pepa mo e kole kapa o kiaha mo ki mea ofa po e ha pe ha ki koin po mea ko ya ke toni ya ke Tonga fo Tonga mo tau mo nga we koin amana ke fraho ka Tulu okay atape ma te tau to lele fa o ke tau ko kala pe pa ko hi latte io foi enjoy ni ya tau tu taki le mo tau kai nga ke nau ko e tau ange pe ko ha tau ki pledge ko ha pe ngai lau ko ha pe ha ki mea ko tuluta ho ko ta puta.
I want to ask Vealoa, what little Tongan do you know? He ko fifia ke ho kau mai ka ko roto ke li ma fu le fa Tonga tau kata. Something.
Nick, they want to hear your Tongan, Nate.
O se vai kata ga Vealoa pepe kore.
O si lama lele.
Malolele, fefe.
Malolele. Bueno, ma insegnare o si mate pe moia kata.
The great thing about now living in Tonga is that every time I try to speak Tongan, they see that I'm struggling and then they speak English. So I might have to go to Hapai or one of the outer islands
Oh,
struggle a little bit.
remote islands.
But I am learning, and I'm excited to call Tonga home, and I'm sad to be away from it, but I know that my work here on the cash crops to get over there is important. But one day really soon, I'll be as articulated in Tongan as I am in English. But thank you for that. You know that this is the brass tacks of our movement. We're not the only movement. We're not preaching anything that hasn't been said before. But we believe that we have to get to work. We have to come together. We have to get to work. Right now, Tonga is on a verge of becoming a welfare state. And I've seen this happen in the United States a lot with our Indian reservations, where we have this budget and it's funded by foreign aid, and everybody has a problem and everybody has a need and everybody has their hand out. But I feel like what we've forgotten is the great people of Tonga is we've forgotten that we control that destiny if we go to work.
Yeah.
And we need to learn how to go to work again. You know, there's a great kid. He owns Fathers and Sons barber shop. His name's Ray. And he's a young kid. He's a young entrepreneur. He's like 24 years old. And he's in charge of my beard and my haircut. So he's probably laughing right now because it's been a while since I've been in there. I've been traveling.
I was going to say.
But Ray's excited for the future in Tonga. And there's all these younger entrepreneurs that are starting to raise their hands and raise their wallets and raise their ambitions and work. And it is us as a community to be able to let this younger generation come through and build a process that is positive and uniting. I don't instill programs that I know that fails, and therefore the world can see that the building blocks that we have for our development plan, they work. They're not a new wheel. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just trying to build a wheel. And that's what I ask Tongans to come together is, hey, my plan isn't perfect, Tulu's plan isn't perfect, TDB's plan's not perfect. But we're willing to work together and come together and build. And that's what we need to understand, and that's what we need to be able to promote. It's time to build. It's time to build the world that we want, not the world that we put our hands out and get. And we've got to come together and we've got to unite. And that is what Tongans are. We are the explorers. We are the builders. We are the seafarers. We jump on the boats and go where no person has ever gone before. We need to remember who we are. We need to remember our ancestors, and we need to come together and go to work. Otherwise, we will lose our kingdom, and it will perish. And I, for one, I'm not ready to lose our kingdom.
No.
I just barely moved home. I'm going to
with
fight
you.
for it.
I'm naked. Can you continue on the cash crop and help supplement that we're gonna benefit in? Because that's what Brenda was talking about right before we went on the break.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the cash crops that we have derived, there's a few of them, but most of them are holistic ways to help with blood pressure, blood sugar, and gout.
Okay.
Because not only do I want our cash crops to be able to benefit and make good money, but I also want our cash crops to be able to benefit us as a people on some of the largest elements that we have. We had a meeting with the Minister of Health, and we talked about what can we do as Tonga for Tonga to help her with the hospital. A lot of my history back in the States is surrounding the medical industry. And so there's a lot of great partners that I have on board that can extend a lot of great things to Tonga and help them out, both on Western modalities and medications and on Eastern holistic medications and modalities. And so there are some rules in putting this cash crop together. Is we wanted to be able to offer a crop that not only would help other nations, such as like the Nez Perce or the Native Americans, which are number one buyers of these contracts, but it would also help us as people. And in our meeting with the Madam Minister of Health, she told me that 70 to 80% of the Tongans' mortalities are connected to type 2 or type 1 diabetes. And that is a huge problem that we are having. When you're saying 70 to 80% of the population is dying because of diabetes, we've got some problems. And so on a health thing, what we've decided to do is not only do we want to target getting money into the farmers, but we also, and to the people, but we also want to target getting products that are going to be beneficial to us and our health. Because what's the point of being rich if you're going to be dead? There is
No
none.
point.
Yes.
So we need to change our diets. We need to, change our lifestyles.
Yes.
And if we can enrich everybody with this baseline cash crop, and the cash crop also helps us fight diabetes, blood pressure, and gout, then you've got a win-win circle, and then you've got a positive circle, and that's what sells. And that's what we're bringing in. And so some of the ideas that we have for development on this cash crop is we want to set up hubs in each constituency. They can buy direct from the farmer. So the farmer won't have to wait for his money. He can come and exchange his crops. But when he comes to our hub, then we're going to process it as a hub and we're going to make it into finalized form. So we don't need to outsource packaging and we don't need to outsource marketing. We can keep that all internal into Tonga. Now we've created jobs. But even more beneficial that I think in this cash crop is the Unity program. If we can unite the farmers into a general farmers union, and then as a union, we can buy technology such as plows, and then we can put out standardized buying so that everybody, no matter what they grow a kilo of something, they get paid for a kilo of something. That gives everybody an even chance for success. And it also gives them a lifestyle because now they're not waiting on all the individual farmer plows. The unions can have the farmer plows. So this is a very big and very advantageous program to get this cash crop, is we're not just implementing a cash crop program, we're implementing a Tongan agricultural program. And so it's going to take time and it's going to take trial and it's going to take error. But the truth of it is, we're never going to achieve success if we don't try. A lot of people think that the picture to success is, I'm here, I'm going to go up here, I'm success. No, the picture to success is I try, I fail, I try, I fail, I try, I fail, I try, I fail, boom, I'm successful. And that's the conversation that Tonga for Tonga is starting with the people, is we know we may not be perfect. We know we may not be the solution, but we're willing and able to partner with you to help find that solution. And we've got some pretty good head starts because we're learning from a lot of farmers that have tried and failed, or we've learned from economics that have tried and failed, or we've learned from politics that have tried and failed. So we feel like we have a good jump start. But the truth of it is, we've got to work together. And like Linda said, it takes many arms. It takes many minds. So our slogan is Tonga for Tonga, we are all Tonga for Tonga. I get so many questions every day. How can I join your movement? You're already joined. We already are. We just have to unite and work together. And so those are the great things that we're trying to implement with the cash crops, with the affordable housing, with the Just Say No for our women, and our free education, those building blocks to start a conversation. The Tongan people can learn, and that we can demand better from each other, and that we can support each other better. Being ruled by an Arla enriches themselves rather than helps the people. Fast. It is time for us to build a better tomorrow within. And that
very pleased because this is a different 120 all of a sudden you're going 280 left 360 right and I'm pleased to hear that. I mean directly from your group because we have so much to share, but from Tonga we're not getting the answers we want.
Right.
And there are a lot of frictions as far as communication, the actual happening in Tonga. And then the people that are the politician of Tonga love to get on a media feed and show what they have in mind for the next years, like your 50 years plan. But we're not getting the reality of what Tonga is suffering from. We're not getting that. They're individually preaching for their own good, for their own one-sided, But I'm glad that for the first time, you guys are enlarging the platform. Not only to the side, both sides, but you're taking it up. And that platform will be very successful, mainly because we're discussing it. We're looking at the risk factor. We're looking at, you guys had already put the platform together. This is the action time. And from here, from Seattle, this is a very economical state, but it's not in the top 3 or 5, okay? Because it's always California, always the big people, farmers everywhere. But in my 50 plus years in this country and working for this state for many years, I can tell you this state and many other states are willing to give if we have the right pathway. The pathway is important, and the people that we collaborate with. In Tulu, it will be easier for Tulu to step on with and achieve the goals we're setting.
So do you think the baby of Seattle will
this
grow
is
in Tonga?
baby Tulu now is
Seattle baby,
yeah. And so I'm happy. I'm more than happy. So Linda, you gave me a very good branch of information because
Right.
Oh, yes.
yeah, Emelina is a good friend of mine.
Right.
But I wanted to see where we can connect. I want to know your process, and you're just giving me a very headshot of what you are all about,
Yes.
what you're willing to do, and what kind of help you'll do for our people. Now, my question is for you for future homework: what can we do to help the deficit of the country?
Yeah.
Because hold on one second, Linda. I'm just going to give you this. Because one of the big business people from Tonga that came, he said, Brenda, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do everything. But Tonga, we're still in a big deficit that we're locked. We're locked. I want to hear what you say about that.
Okay. Before we even continue on, I have someone that wanted to add on. Dr. Pakieri Havilikafusi. Weekly basis, we talk about the health advice, and I don't mean to jump out of the topic. Samoa and Tonga are on the federal health data are known as the highest obese in the world. So, and he does a lot of advice, and it helps a lot of our Tongan people that listening, that tuning in globally. So I have Dr. Pakieli here. He's not only doctor but health, but he's also doctor on political. Dr. Pakieli Havilikafusi, malo opito ka mai. Te tuka tiki whainga maari ko ni maha koe o swhanongo mai peki ngai vahe ko ni. Ko tamu a whakeni ko aia ko Vealoa na was born and raised here. Pea ko ni lewa pea ko Lolinita Maue, ko Tonga Development ia a Tonga. Pea ko Tulu, ko tamu a ke run for Tonga Taponga Fulu. Ko ia.
Brenda Kamaika?
Io malo bito Fatima ko e whanga mari whakawha ko ni ko ki hu mai pe ko e whawhi mai Fatima ke ki hu mai ka ko ki taim no be pa te hu pe ki tua ko nga ko tarano te mi apinga hawe ka ko whiwhia lahi au bito i e whanga mari ko ni e whelonga ki morinta pe a me panakalaka ka pe whoki ka tulu te ke lere ke wharearea whawhonga wharearea ka ko o whiwhia lahi au bito e whanongo ki e whoha ko ni ki he tangata ko ni vea ko ni But I'm really excited to see a proud Tongan American and rooted in Hatejo. That's one thing that I should ask. What's going on with the Hatejo people? I'm actually from Hatejo.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Hatejo.
Well, we have more churches than ever, and the watermelon's still sweet.
Yeah. And I'm just excited with all the ideas of the Tonga Matonga. And the things that I've been trying to work with various programs, communicating with the Tongan people and what I can do to help with the education, the health, economy, as well as with the drugs. So I'm happy that you all covered those important areas, but especially the health with the cash crop. Oh my goodness, that's what I was trying to preach the government to do that. Yeah, I've been trying to get the government to grow because that's what's really, hearing the summit conference that was just held a few weeks ago, and they talk about all these problems. But I think the Chinese representative really summed it well. The Tongan people are really good in complaining, but they didn't do. They should step up and do something other than complaining.
We are talking solutions here.
Yeah. So now we are talking solution. We are not complaining.
We're talking solutions.
So,
the bank
so one
is a
thing,
solution.
Mayor, that you are doing, I am really happy that you finally make my dreams happen in Tonga. The cash crop, and especially those cash crops that will help with the health, as well as generating some income for the people. What a very smart move, and I'm just proud. Thank you for what you have done so far for Tonga. But I feel this is just my personal opinion. I feel this is the excellent opportunity that we should push the government to have one representative from each countries, like the Tonga in USA, Tonga in New Zealand, Tonga in Australia, for the parliament. With all the works that you have done, Tonga for Tonga, we should push this idea to happen. We need a representative in the parliament from USA, from Australia and New Zealand. But anyway, I just want to comment. Thank you so much for what you have done so far for the government and the people of Tonga. And I'm also happy that you are from Hatejo.
So it's all Hatejo clan right now, eh?
And please don't push me and force me to run for Tonga Tapu Fitu.
Hey,
I'm not ready.
We'd love to have you out here. Join the good fight.
Thank you all. Good luck, Tulu.
Thank you,
Malo. Thank you, Doctor.
Malo.
And I'm Dr. Kaupusi. Welcome to Tonga for Tonga.
Yeah, see, now you're very lucky you got a representative from the Voice of South Pacific, the Dr. Pakieri. He's going to, be in your team, Tonga for Tonga.
Yeah. Like Bea said, Fatima, you're Tongan, we're all Tongans to build our country.
Yes. Very uplifting.
Before we continue, I'm sorry. I just remember something. Bea, can you mention what we talked with the Minister of Health about dialysis and the problem and how this health supplement will help us to stay away from dialysis?
Yeah. So before we get into that, I do want to take a quick minute to answer the question about how do we cure the deficit. So right now our GDP's 500 to 600 million, and our national budget's 850 to 900 million. And we're relying on foreign aid to make up the gap. And that is the biggest deficit that we have in Tonga. And the only way to do that is to for the government to do that is to be able to have a bigger tax base. The only way that we can have a bigger tax base is to have a bigger private sector that produces more, that is able to be taxed and generate the money for the budget to offset that deficit. Which takes us into the problem that we're having with a lot of modalities. And a modality is a service provided by healthcare professionals. I didn't know that word until I got into healthcare. And that's when I say modality, it's talking about an individual service given by a healthcare professional. And so a lot of modalities have come into Tonga, like this dialysis. But dialysis is very expensive.
Yes.
And the problem with dialysis is the expense to clean up the machine between uses. And so for a country that is operating off of a budget because they have social health care, it makes it really hard for administrators to be able to say, well, I've got so many dollars, I need to stretch it over this amount of people. And so I need to focus on cheaper modalities and I've got to stay clear of expensive modalities, even if those expensive modalities are used. But the problem is Tongans, they'll get their health to a situation that exceeds the public offering and the public service in our hospitals. And so then they'll save up and they'll go overseas, or the family will get together and they'll go overseas, and somehow they form a budget to implement their needs. What we're trying to do, and talking with the Minister of Health, what we would like to do is let's renegotiate those areas. Give an example, there was one drug that was like 400 US dollars a use, and our partners could get it for 37 cents. So you go from 400 US dollars to 37 cents. So we need to renegotiate some trade deals to make sure that Tonga is able to get the cheapest and the brightest and the best, and we can do that. But we also need to bring in innovation and development into our medical industry, in the sense that wouldn't it be great if we were able to develop with a private-public partnership, a co-op between the private sector and the government, a hybrid, a clinic that can offer all these high-end modalities that people are saving up and going to in other countries. And not only would that help us as people of Tonga, but that would also make us as a beacon to the other countries in the South Pacific to help make Tonga a medical hub. And they start coming to us, which we are good brothers and sisters in Polynesia, and we help them build that. And we feel like we have a pretty good team working with. The government's trying to catch up to the private sector a little bit. They're trying to, this government right now is a short-term government, so they've got a lot on their plate right now. But I think long-term, that is the key, is that I believe that deficit, just by renegotiating our trade deals, we can offset that deficit just by renegotiation. And then that puts us at a 0-0 to where now we can start implementing great economic development opportunities that creates a huge tax base that allows our government to go above and beyond. Better schools, better infrastructure, better highways, better roads, all that has to come from taxes or financial foreign aid. But if we renegotiate those trade deals and we make it even, and that balances the budget, and then we still grow economically, now we've got a win-win-win. And I'll just throw this out there for our viewers, just so you can see the size of this development and how in depth it goes. Right now, we're working on what can we do with the Ring of Fire to be able to utilize its energy to prevent explosions that cause tsunamis that wipe out our islands. If we can tap in and drain that energy and put it through steam energy, which promotes hydrothermal energy, we could be one of the biggest electric producers in the South Pacific. There's already data lines that go to the US. There's already data lines that go to Asia. We could easily run cables of electricity to both places. But that's the thing, is right now we're implementing smart boxes. But the team's working on how do we capture the geohydrothermal electricity power of the South Pacific. you've always got to be thinking forward. You've always got to be thinking bigger. You've always got to be thinking what's next. And we've got to work together to get there. But what I can tell you is there is no bigger think tank. There is no larger think tank than what we have made. And I will also be the first to tell you, this is not our plan. This is a collaboration of experts that all believe that this plan belongs to God. Because even though we're experts in this field, we're not that smart. The timing is crucial, the timing is everything. We believe that this plan of development is divine, and we believe in communicating and getting the experts to make it happen. But we know that we all have to work together and we all have to come together to build this. But the ideas of today that could turn into realities of tomorrow, we're not just talking about Tonga becoming from a third world to a first world. We're talking about Tonga becoming one of the most advanced technological kingdoms in the world. And that's where the big picture lies. And that's where we go. Now, let's be a realist. What if we only produce half that or a quarter of that? That's still so amazing. And that is the great thing. My biggest, most exciting time in Tonga is I always go and get a plate of barbecue when school's getting out. And you see all the colors. You see the reds and the blues and the greens, and they're all getting out of school. But when I go down this barbecue, there's this kid that likes to race my car. And every time I beat him. One day I slowed down and he beat me, and he had the biggest smile on his face. And I just thought for a minute, that smile is that kid peering into the future. What is his future going to look like? And that's why we do this. We do this for the future. We're talking 50, 100 years, 200 years down the road. I'm not going to be alive for those years, and my partners aren't going to be alive for those years. But those children that are so naive to this world, that them having pure happiness by beating a car to barbecue,
That's right.
that's who we're doing this for. We're doing it for their lives and their grandchildren's lives. Because we as Tongans need to declare, we're either going to grow and triumph, or we're going to shrink and perish. And we're not in the shrink and perish business, because we are Tonga. And it is time to work as Tonga, and it is time to produce as Tonga. We are all Tonga for Tonga. Malo apito.
Malo. Malo pito. Malo pito. Thanks, Bill. Brenda.
Wow.
Papa ni ko ni ke tali le ba ni jaha ai fe hui.
What?
Malo.
I'm just blown away. I think right now I don't want to touch, because I think Vea has given us the greatest summary of all. And we do believe, even though like we are in the bank, right? Sometimes in the bank we have a prayer service once a month. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because listening to Loa, he said this is a plan, a divine plan. You know, people in Tonga, they said, keep politics away, keep spanking away, keeps religion away. But what we believe, the bank is situated and operated on a ground that was given to God. Therefore, the bank belongs to God, just like everything else. This plan that we are working on with Tonga for Tonga, for the whole of Tonga, is to build up that very nation. And there's a few words that's coming up that I want to use it to and put it out to our customers, to our listeners as well. Tonga for Tonga, the word that keeps coming up is unity. Unity of all sectors to come together. Yes. Economic, agriculture, you name it. Unify. Another one is, from this perspective, the Tongan overseas and the Tongan in Tonga. Wherever we are, we also need to unify. And you know, in the office, we see that your heart keeps coming. Now, what do I mean? We see the remittance. We see the money that's been sent from here to Tonga. And those money is actually the people's heart. You're sending your hard-earned cash to build Tonga. You used, Brenda, a word called, you said, to elevate. We want to elevate our nation. You see, the mission of the bank, the vision of the bank is to develop and to promote the economy of Tonga. And the bank can't do it alone. The bank must have partners, great partners, and those great partners with great values, like what we heard this morning. And those values, God first, people, working together. And I quite like how you mentioned, Laura, our ancestors. Every time I think about our ancestors, they got up and they said, right, we're going to set sail to Samoa. Was there any compass?
No.
Was there a compass? Or did they just work on their resources and they leave everything behind, knowing for sure that in this journey, they might not come back. Yet they still get on the boat, on the canoe, no compass. They just read the stars. That's right. Look out for the birds that's flying.
Yes.
Yes. My point is from where we are in the bank, yes, we are there to promote the economy of Tonga. And we need everybody. We need great partners, great values, great vision.
Yes.
Never pull back. And also to know the time. Whichever way we turn, you're going to need the bank because the bank has got the money. And that's why I'm on this program. And I know majority of the listeners at the moment is probably Tongans overseas. You have an opportunity to have a better life. You have a surplus of money. You can put it to good use. If you have land in Tonga, talk to us. Talk to us about this program. Because when you build yourself, I repeat it, when you build yourself, you build our nation.
Wow.
That's why we're building Tulu from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll get our other states to join. That's
Right.
collaboration. This kid had been working hard, but then he decided to devote his time and his energy and his talents in Tonga. And we appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Lolinita, Maue.
I had a little bad time too, eh?
In the meantime, I can see there's a lot of people start joining us, but a lot of them, I know that they're from overseas. Okay. But we still have some people here. So also I wanted to announce, in behalf of Tulutulu Mafua, Lotele Kalaniuvalu, if you have anything, to pledge, if you love to see the build-up of Tonga and also the district that where Tulu's running for, it's also very open. And I have the dawn breaker, I agree ko mafua ai ata ko dawn breaker ko kautaha security o kuia alang lo pepa mo whanga brothers mo ulangi hefa o koe ni unau tamai ke donate mai e nau ki tola ni mangeau. Ni mai, ia. Mali au pito they're very happy, to see for the good cause e unau o si amanaki pe e tali Linda Maue e na wato ai na no.
Oi,
mana toka tai mini. Ko nga ke mau kamata tala noa se tape ngai me ko ia. Ko whakafofa o pito o kutari mai a Tonga ia ke whakawa mai Amerika matapa. Ko nga ka maulere atu whai ngau ke Amerika tai mini. We are working on it. O whakawa nga New Zealand, o whakawa nga Celeria. Right now it's on our plan. Ke whenga ke heno whakawa Amerikana, ka lawa ke tau, ke ata matapaka te motol, ke mo anga mo sianiti. O lawa pia e taimini, ke motol whe mau ha mo ngai whare, mau project ko ni. Tala noa mai rewa ka te au, he pesko ia e panke, i e pongpongini.
So your website is already up and running.
Iyo. O kwa pe Facebook panke ku pe ya Tonga Development Bank.
Tonga Development
A
Bank,
lot
yeah.
of people from overseas ng nautala no angai. Kapate nautala no angai pe huma pe na tolo messenger mai ai. Pate mautari mareva kamata fitutaki. O te mautari ke motogia wang ki Tonga. Mautala no mareva taimini ke mo wa wange ko mahino leva ngahi me mo fie mau.
Absolutely, yeah.
Nā koe me ataha koe ngari whakatuku hua peka e whai whenga ka drum pe e to e lava moia o ka mai he tau. Tonga fo
People
tonga.
with the power.
Ame pia drum me koe ngā ke alu ka pia loa ke na inu niu mata pe na wepa e lata o pita drum ia.
Yeah.
So koe
Malo puto. Ki hua pe kata ki pe e Fatima mo Brenda o fa malo pito o ko o sien o pe mo tuani ko mafana mo tuani e ngau ko to pe. Ange pe ko mo o simia I o ku malo apito ke Tonga for Tonga. I want to thank Tonga for Tonga and also Tonga Development Bank.
Yeah.
When I talk with the people at Tonga Tapu District Number 10 and they give me what they need, and that's what I do. I talk to Tonga for Tonga, and also I talk to Tonga Development Bank because we will work together. Te maungai whataha mautoruia, kono whenga ko hale rei taha ke mohanga solve a paraparema ko ni koe, ai kakai koe ni he wahinga unau whe mau. Hane pe koe, o ke poke kakai ni unau tamai unau whe mau hana waka tautai, me nukureka o lere ai ki koronga. Ia I ni hi unau whe mau hana waka tautai, ko mea koko kore te talanoa mo Tonga for Tonga, pe osko ia, pe mau talanoa le mautolu mo Tonga Development Bank, o hae nau toko ni, pe whahua lewa a kore ai. Hangi ko nau mo mea I pe, ko nau pos whahoko mai pe e Linda, Maue, ai whaunga koe, mo toro kona koe o ku mo mea koe I muri ni. Kona posi whahoko mai e Linda, e lava, ke langa, a mo ngahi api I Tonga ko development nia ai tau whonua ki whawha ofa. Ma pe mo mea I mo wha mea an ki Tonga o ki ai pe whanki api o ku asiwawa pe ko hinga ko nihi ko ia o na unofana tori Australia pe ko Amerika I Amerikan pe ko New Zealand po ka ngai whituke. Kai lava pe ia ke mo mea mo toria I Murini kai ke whai pe ho mo ngā wea mo toria o langa ho mo whare. Pea te ki lawe pe heni, e ko me ko tau taina ko ta noa ko inga ko heni a linta. E malawa ke potu e whanki whare koe ni o ai Airbnb ke lawa ki tokoni ke no. Pea kai ko ia pe I hahake. O stala noa pe au ia I se toni. Well, I want to mention this, Nate. I've been talking around in Kawa clubs about the Tonga for Tonga and the Tonga Development Bank, what it can help. And there's a lot of people are really interested. And I see some of these people that I've been talking to. It's they're joining us at this program. And the only reason why I want Bear Law and Lita Maue in the program today, because they want, I know Tongans, most of the Tongans, they want words from expert. For example, I'm not a big expert, but I got Linda helping me out. And I'm not Tonga for Tonga. Bear Law is helping out in a lot of things. So what I do, ko malo he tuki tuki. But me ko kusai ko mo ko hanga o mai ai loto koe mo whakaukau koe o kakai koe o wahenga whika hongo wholu. Pau toki aule wā tuki tuki e ngahi matapā. Hau ke pure anga o mea pe koe no ma lewet mo vea lo o tā noa mo pare mia pa po pe ke he mista ako. Ko uhinga ia ko tuki tuki ia e a uia ki o runga ia ki kakai tau potu. Pātai mia o koe ki wha sai au ki tā noa mo nihi koe o kui la loko I ngā, o pia pēkutala mai, e tu whitu taki an. O e Tonga for Tonga, pia mo Ko mangau e mau fai ko ma. Alu na tonu mau ke kautaki ke fe mau ai fe ai kono ave e leo ko i kakai i he kautaki ke nau. Me ai ngahi mea ko fe mau. Pena iai pe fe hu i mai ke motuani. O ha uhinga mea o kupai ki ngawe a kia he kau whahofonga ko ni e fonga ko ni. O kari pe ke uilo e eo. Ka ko mea ko ilo ko panke o kiai ai sirini ai hango mea ku wha. Linda, o kia sirini ai ki kakai ki nau alu o whahoko e nau kore.
Oh, yeah.
Ia e
Tonga
taha o
kotoa, tonga kotoa.
ko taha kotoa.
Momuri,
Peo kia
momuri ko.
Momuri kotoa. Ia e whehui e taha ka te au tala mai. Peo kono ko si mea pekea ia linka. E lawa mo mautori Amerikani ka aha mau pore tau noa i Tonga ke whaha mau no ko tali e na ko si atu e linka e lawa lerei. I New Zealand, Australia, pepeheki Amerikani. E lawa lerei e ngau e lewa aki a pore tau noa ko ia hono malui ko e ai no. Ka o hanga pe au ia ake pe o mea konu ko mana tui e ko moni le lahe ngai whehui ka ko mea pen ko mana tui e lava ka ko mea ko fie aki e lava ke whahoko o nofa uia i tongani i kataki Amerikani pe ko Nusila ko Australia o whaenga mo no ke paru e wheho mo kere i
Ko
Tonga.
mea ia ku mahu inga i e tau kere kere e tulu kau mawhai kau whanongo. A
Ko
kua
ia.
tia inga i whare ia ka inga tonga, Nusilani, Tolahi, a Australia. Nau nof peheni ngau ako nau kere kere i tonga. Ko mea malu i ia. Ai pe kere kere ke mau?
Ko
Ke
ia.
mau inga ia. E ko whai mo
Ko ia.
ua, ko whai mo ke si e hiri ai. Tau si orewa ke nau income, koe pe u processi. Kai koe mea te kamata ai. Kamata hao akauni. Whakapapau iho kere kere tu ho hingoa. Mo income pa ke tala noa ngerewa. Ko
Ko
ia.
ia. Ma lo pito.
Malo.
Lo pito prenda pa pe ka fatimo ko me pe na fe mau ki hanga fo ha ko fo ki ko ia pe me ko ta mai fe mo fo ka e ngalo ia
Ia, sai o pito.
varo
Whawhawha pita tulu koe tō taha ena ko Men Roof Graham. Kona tala mai whanonga mai mahalo, he tuned into, you know, and heard of what you were talking about. He said
ko
that
ia
now it's going to be another Dubai in the South Pacific. So,
Oh,
yeah, for the
You,
Tonga
nei
development.
you know,
ni ve lo
that's a great question. We have several people that we work with in Dubai. This is my thought on Dubai. I love Dubai. I've been there many times, many years. They are huge in economic development. They are a
Yes.
huge hub for money. But Dubai is 80% expatriate, which means 80% of their population right now is from people from other countries. So this is the balancing act, is we need to be able to cherish our development to maximize our opportunities, but we need to do so in an ethical and a moral way to where we don't jeopardize who we are as a people. And I'm not saying that Dubai has. I'm just saying that we still need to be true to ourselves. And I think we can do that. You know, there's 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I was in Thailand. In Thailand, the private sector in Thailand and the private sector in Tonga, us, we are discussing trying to get the governments to do an embassy in each country because of such good tolls that we have with Thailand. And a lot of the private sectors in Thailand, they asked me, you know, what can we invest in? What will happen? You know, will Tonga be able to offer everything that Thailand is going to be able to offer? And I humbly replied to, Tonga is Tonga and Thailand is Thailand, and they are different. And what I mean by that is we have been dedicated to God as a country and as a people. And so whatever development that we do, we need to make sure that it develops morally and ethically the way that we would develop God's kingdom in the eyes of God. So as much as I love Thailand and as much as I love Dubai, they have developed for themselves and their God and their way. But we as Tongans, we not only need to be able to develop in our way, but we need to develop in a way that is pleasing to God. And that means that we don't have all the services that are offered in those other nations. And that's why it's so important that we develop from within. And that's why it's so important that we unify and we work together from within. Because nobody knows Tonga better than we, the people of Tonga. And that's why we've got to be able to be the ones to develop it ourselves rather than outside forces, is because then we can stay true to what we believe God wants out of our kingdom and our country. And so, yes, as far as technology goes, as far as opportunity goes, yes, we want to be like a Dubai and we want to be like a Thailand, but we do not want to be something to our God and is not pleasing to us as a people. I hope that humbly answers our vision and how we want to develop. Sometimes there is things more important than success and money. Sometimes it's about happiness, and we've got to be able to be happy with who we are as we develop.
Malo pio vea. Vea.
You're such a humble talker. You're you just set the platform, but we're inflamed already, and it's good. And
Word
it's
of
really
wisdom.
good. Yeah.
Now
You guys have already said it.
Fatima and Brenda, now you know I'm blessed, eh?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So beautiful.
Because we do know that Dubai is,
Yeah.
I think Dubai is one of the major global tourism for the international visitor. Aya ko me o tohi mai kalasi ko na whanau mai. Hange whanau mai ko mo whakapotala no your conversation and discussion. Mahalo hange pe ko ito ala ka Tonga ko that would be another Dubai. But because of the way you have the mission and the vision and the goal, to build up, and that's exactly. And now I love that Tonga for Tonga. Before I did not really quite understand. I just heard that when Dulu was trying to approach us, like to have the program, I just thought it's just like all politics. But now this is kind of more like touching to build up people's lives, for the better, for the future, and for the good of all.
If I could just insert this na ngalo hangko Lolinita, motulu kakai ke talatu engalo. So it's a value thing. Elava get our build of what to do, and then we work towards it. Kamon aupito. And then we go back to the history of Tonga. Now I know I can really speak Tongan. Fulai no for muli eve. Kago for kakawa to get out hanga or on a big picture. Hanga daragan ki Dubai. Dubai was a fast, energized, money moving machine in the world stage. Kakotonga is a blessed land. Hangegalawa na have ke ikike tapoki. Kapapete mo katokanga o blessed for nua kotope o Tonga. So talking about values, value at 10 times, I think, kapate put our minds and energy together and work in unison and work as a unit and teamwork and all that. Kagofakawat ke mea ko ni oku mahalo ta fakawat ta tao pekiai, a concept.
Oh, and the values.
Yeah. So, go ahead. Dubai is, so in 1970, Dubai was a small fishing town with a lot of sand. And then they struck oil, and they decided, the Sheikh of Dubai decided that he wanted to build an economy, because if the oil dried up, he wanted a thriving economy. So he reinvested his oil. At the time, I think oil was like $20 to $27 a barrel of oil in the 70s when he was looking to reinvest and develop. Our think tanks now, if we can do the hydrothermal for the megawatts that are down there, We believe that just in the Tonga ocean borders, it would be equivalent of if the king, the Sheikh of Dubai, had $300 a barrel of oil for what we might have in electricity production using the Ring of Fire, geo and hydrothermal power. Another fun fact between us and Dubai is the city of Dubai built up. They built skyscrapers, but you could fit, real estate wise, you could fit 10 to 11 Dubai cities in Tonga Tapu alone. So they built up, so they didn't need a lot of land. And yes, I guess I want to sum up, how this goes. And then I'm going to go back to the Bible. In the Bible, you have people, they get wicked, they get cursed, they get good, they get blessed. And it all has to do with God's will and God's plan. And so I think to stay true to the development is to stay true to God. If this is going to be his plan, then we need to work this plan like it's his. And then we will benefit and we'll be blessed. And at the end of the day, I'm going to paraphrase the scripture. When ye are in service to your fellow people, ye are in service to God. And it's all about that. It's all about us helping each other out, us coming together, us building, but us being good neighbors. It's so easy to get caught up in the world of difference, in the world of arguing, and the world of fighting, and the world of vote of no confidence, and the world of bickering. We see that all day in this whole world. What we don't see is that our ancestors were all brothers and sisters. We are all technically brothers and sisters. You are all my aunties and uncles, and vice versa. We've got to come together and learn to love each other again. And that is easier to do in smaller populations. And that is why I think it's so great. We as Tonga see the first of the day. We pray the first because we are at the first. And if we as Tongans, the 110,000 people on the island and the 280,000 people off island, can learn to love one another again and unite again, we won't need to focus on whether or not this is going to happen or not, because we will be blessed by the guy upstairs. All the rest is noise. And so that's what this is about. This is not mind-breaking. We're not doing anything new. We are, as a people, saying, enough of the adversary, enough of the outside world. We need to come together. We need to unite. We need to love each other, and we need to help advance each other. And that's what this movement is. It's about being a good neighbor, being a good brother, being a good sister, being a good family member. Because at the end of the day, if we don't have love in God, we are lost forever. And that's just how the brass rolls out in Tonga for Tonga. Mahalo, Pito.
Just wanna wrap things up from my side. You mentioned there, and this is something you guys remember. Remember the old Tongan stamp back in the 70s?
Yes.
There were, I believe there were a few stamps there that says Tonga where time begins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tonga where time begins. In marketing, I always think about that. We're talking development. And the question that we normally ask, why? Why do we develop? We develop to glorify our God. And Tonga where time begins, we're the first nations in the world to wake up. Shouldn't we be the first nation to wake up and praise God? And shouldn't we wake up from the state of economy that we're in at the moment?
From a deep sleep.
To improve, to build, not just to have a better life, but to be in line with what the first king did. Couple of verses that comes to mind, I know they're in the book of Deuteronomy, and it says, keep my law and commandment, and this is not just, this is for all aspects of life, so that you can become the head of nations and not the tail. So that you can become the head of nations and not the tail. I'm going to give you the Tongan version because it sounds a lot more deeper. Remember, I'm thinking economy as well. So where are we with our economy? We want to improve it, not just by 1%. We want to improve it by 100% and more. And it says, We are not to be the tail. So where are we in the economy of things? Are we the tail amongst the nations, amongst Oceania? When we look at our neighbors, Samoa, Fiji, where are we in the economy of things? We want to be the head. If we claim that we belong to God and our land was given to God and us as well for generations until the end of time, then we must be able to manifest in our economy and how we live and where we are the great power and wealth where our God is. So we want to be the head and not the tail. Let's work together. Let's come together. Let's sing together. Let's not focus on the noise. Let's come together with our strengths. O fa ke ta ko to pe ke me mai ke pol kalamani. Pe fa malot ke tik motolo no manatua nga Tonga. Ka fa ka wa tai pe ai nga we ho mo panke ma iPhone wa. He ko rolo e panke ke fa kala ka iPhone wa. I he tapa ko to ai mo ui. Pe kui tahi, pe kui uta, pe kui wharehanga. Ko rolo mo fatongia e panke. Pa mo ko ni murini o kai ho kere kere. Ako fa am ke fa kala. Kamatanga talanoa. To answer your question, let's stay communicate. Let's keep communicating. That's the only way we can do, and that's where things start. O fatu ke tonga kotoa. Famalat ka te koe e Fatima, ka umafo ka Brenda, I he whainga Mario e aho koe ni. And thank you, Tonga for Tonga.
Malo pito.
Malo
Malo.
pito.
Iyo.
Whakahofa o katoa.
Ki kore pehe ni Brenda pe mo Fatima ki kilawe pe ai
Iyo.
ai mana koe ni. Koe tau
Whakahofa o
nofo
katoa.
ki tonga ni koe nofo I ka inga.
Koia.
Koe tau nofo I ka inga. Koe tau hao koe ki muri, o ke mea koe uncle, koe first cousin, second cousin, third cousin.
Related to each other.
O nofo koe I tonga, koe tamai pe mai moe whae. Koe tuwhiwhine pe moe tunga ane. Ai ko first cousin koe mo tuania ko tuwhiwhine, ko toko ua, Tau tonge tau hanga mai ai foi whakau kau ko ia, o ku tainini ia o ku lahe a wahe. Ha koe ne mea ku ne mea mai kua Fatima. Na pehe Fatima I ko kurupu tonga fo tonga ko politikare. No, tonga is not a political group. O ku lahi tau ke lahi longoa a fe fusi aki. Ko pe ka pati tau fe fusi aki e pe he tau me taimi ko toa pe te tau lava o langa tau fonua I kai. Te kai ke tau lava tau langa fonua ka pau te tau mai ai mea koe koe politikare. Ne kai kia mea koe politikare ia I he taimi koe. Ko mea pe na tau I loko lotu pe pe apo nofo I ka inga. Tau hanga lewa I he western world ia o mai koe ne mea koe second cousin, third cousin, fourth cousin, no. Ko tau tu hao tau ria o whanongo he mea koe ia he tau e mō mea mai ki muri ni ka tau tu kotonga ia, ko nofo I ka inga, ko tuwhiwhine pe, mo tunga ane. Ko foha pe, mea mo whae. Ange koe, ki mea whae ki koe nau lere mai ai, ko whiwhine a fui. Ko mea koe nau whahoko koe he polkama koe mo kau haa moa. O hinga lere mai ki he ni ko whiwhine eni. This is my daughter. And that's the reason why I'm here in Seattle right now for the funeral. It's not my niece. It's my daughter. Ko no mai e koe tonga, ko nofo koe kainga. To ki taimini e tau toko mo vete tau tau ria to fusia ke ma whao atu. Ka koe nofo I kainga. O whi lawe peta whako ia. Pea koe tonga fo tonga, o kui kai ko hap. Ko timi politikare, ko timi koe ni, ko timi ke langa, ke build. To e a wahe ka tau ngā au e whata. Nau polo kalama e aho tu whaosek ben, nau polo kalama e aho taha whako Februari. I la paha. Ko launch here my campaign on the 14th of February. O si pe kou polo kalama ko he a whalaite, a taha wha, a tōna ki pe o hawe ngahi, tala noa. Kai ki whanonga o ke ngahi polo kalama ko ia. Ka koe whahoko mai pe he whangatoko ua, he whangatu whaafine. Ko mea koe nei hoko e Brenda pa mo Fatima. Nai hu pe ia he te ringa tō mata o kua tūlu, hu ki tua he te ringa tō hema kua tūlu. Kai ki toka ngau ki ai, he kou hinga o ke pena o totona toke nau rea. Ka koe pia ke mahinu ka nau tōlu. O ku kai ka kulupa politikare mpe ua ki ai. O mau tōlu ia, o whenga ke langa e whonua, ke lawa, ke aha ka hau, o kuia e koe ui maunio ni koe, kia tau tolu katoa, o si ilo e tau te whito ke motuani, to whanau, mo whamokuna, they're being good hands, I he ngāu e koe ni o whai, malo.
Malo au pito.
Maro.
Malo au pito koe tau wa umai eni ki he osi minite tahavalu pe me he tolu I he Pacific Standard Time. O whamalo lahi au pito koe ate whamalo, a big shout out to you Frank Manufgram. He's always writing, like a good version, like in responding, and he's saying, Tonga for Tonga will navigate a better Tonga to the world stage. Malo me ofatu, family, and nobody gets left behind. Hange koe tau tipeiti koe ia koe na e kau candidate koe Amerikani, no child left behind. Koe whamalo lai au pito hoko e polokalama koe ni, o kune hanga whakaaki mai. That's a word of wisdom and a word of knowledge o mo hanga share awa ni. Pe au ko o mai lewa whakakaukau lelei ko ngā koe sio. Ta koe tau mua ngā aue a tulu koe aipe koe lele. But to make a difference, in district number 10. Ko I ngā ke ne lava tokoni I hake mo langa hake. Ai ngahi kahau ko ia o e kāinga I he tonga tapu hongo fulu. Ke lava mau hangahi whakakaukau lelei ki he anga hoko atu o nau ngā ue ke kahau, ko hange ko lau, ko a whepe ko tau puri atu, o sa tau ni manoa mi heni, ko ke tau heni, ka aloha ke hako tupu ko ki nau tolu te nau hoko atu pe, kai ki ngalo ai ngahi the seeds that we plant, ma ngai tenga ko tō e mātua. O whanongo ko mo ngai tala noa, I did not even come close to, ke upehe o ko. That's what my expectation. That's way above and beyond that, more than I expect. Pero ko whamalo lahi au ia o ko toi ako pe ia iau mga mea lahi. Ta whapotal noa. Pero ko whaamo pe ke oa na ngata heni. Kai hoko atu. E ko ngā ko lava pe ke tau ilo. Ko ngā ko na mo kawhataha. Ko ngā pia mo ngā whakakaukau lelei, kau tak lelei vea loa kai uma a Lolinita Maue. Ko mea ia o whia mau, ko iai ka kai wai nau visone, o kai langa ngā ue, pea hange koe ki koti koe ai whirimotoa me motu. If you do nothing, you get nothing.
So true.
Yeah. Koe, we're all rised up, together we rise. Koe anga e nofo koe a tau tolu whakatonga, koe we exist as a communal, tawa mai koe ki murini. Pahia u kau taha ngā we, u kai upe kau tō ngā iha upo ngā we, mea mate atu e auntie a honi, pia mate angola pong pong, pia whai tamai he pure ia. Tell your family not to die anymore, okay? Ai whako i angai exist koe ai tō ngā. We live as a communal, not individualism, eh? Kai tau lava tau tau lio, te tau tae lata tau tau he isolated ko i ngā. Koe mo uia na tau tutupu hake, pe si pe koe hate ki koini. Ka te kauwhataha mo association, that's more the happiness and togetherness. Pa koe mea pe ia na tau wako, I ho tau wha mo ui. Na I kai ke pe ke nofo pe, ka nai alu taka I holo o a ahi ke he. Ki nau tolo whaingata ia, pea ko hange koe lau whakafolofola. Ko ia hoko koe si I, e hoko ia koe lahi koe taki. Wha malo lahi atu he ngahi, wahe re rei kono mo o mai. Pa ko wha ampe te tau te hoko atu, ka hao wawe mai. Koe kai koe uhi ngā pe koe polo kalama, ka ku tō koni lahi au pito, ai ka vei ngā koe ni ngā ue koe ni umau whai, pia uma ai wahe mai ngai mea koe ni. That's a knowledge and a wisdom for all of us, Ko toka te whangamari koe ni Brenda, pia osko ia peta tok whakaosi ai pe.
I'm in awe.
Yes.
I'm just simply in awe because I'm happy.
Yes.
I'm hopeful, and there's a string of good communication. Pako whaamupe, como information o mai e tulu. Because both of us will work with you guys. Ihe koskan atulu. Pako mau ofalahi at kate tolu. I feel like I'm satisfied in a very short minutes we have been discussing this. Information going to search out personally. I think you understand what's going on with the Pēmoi politiki koe a Tonga. Why is so burdened when I mea keke? Pēmoi whilau aki, it's so simple to talk, to clarify, move on, forget about yesterday. Pau kai kua competition in ke whai ai ha tau. No. E kai kua mea ia ha toko taha ke prove himself. No. What you do for your country is so much, important.
Thank you.
Ofata motoru. Linda,
Ofata.
for
Kwa
more
weni.
information, I will put my email to Tulu and Tulu can share it as appropriately as he can. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Pito,
Matuke. Brenda, ma ke ki whaasa tai pēha whakamalo. A te whakamalo he ni me he tonga whotonga pe from the Tonga Development Bank. We thank you very much to willing to having us. And like you said, maybe down the future we'll have more programs.
Yes.
Program we can talk about, and we'll be willing to happy. Maybe we're going to have more people.
Yes.
This is not the only team. We got more people on the team, but for now, this is enough. And I hope that you guys were happy what you guys got from us. And I just want to mention this for the final time. Thank you very much. And Tonga for Tonga is not a political move team. It's a team to build.
Yes.
We want to work together with anybody. If you're Tongan, we'll work together in Tonga. And how we approach when people talk, we just keep it silent. We just keep it silent and do our work. And because before, na o pore ke he ngā aue koe ni, na pauki hanga te CEO. Pe te utari, e ngahi whakahanga koe e whahoko mai kakai. Ko hinga me ko asia to koe I he ni. Pau kore ke Tonga Whotonga, ke CEO, pea moe founder, o Tonga Whotonga, vea law, to reach out kia ke Tonga Development Bank, pea whamalo pito e nautali le rei, ke whahawhi ngā oe a. Pea konu mo mea mai e ni, unau, mea mai koe he ope, koe Tonga Whotonga, it's koe timi, ngā oe whataha, pea waki te kaki pe mea katoa whamua koe tamai he wani. Pe te mau ilo lewa e aru ai mea katoa pe e fō he hala totonu. Ka pau te mau whalala, ke mau iwi whatangata, mo mau poto whatangata, e aru pe ia ngata, iwi whatangata, koe kamataanga ia, ai tamai he wani. Koe poto koe tangata, e aru pe ia ngata, koe kamataanga ia, ai poto tamai he wani. Ka mau whia pito whainga maari e koe ni, ka toki ai peha taimi, e te whai ha pe programa fa pe ke reach out mai pe ka toki tau te tala no pe ke ni ko nuku pe whano ka ko mau o whalahi atu mea me founder koe ai pe moe chairperson CEO koe Tonga Whotonga vea law pe he pe ki a Linda Maue me he Tonga Development Bank malo pito o whatu.
Malo pito.
And now you can understand why we're so excited to endorse great leaders like Tulu for District 10 and others in other districts. One thing is very simple. As Tongans, we need to learn to forgive each other.
Of course.
We need to learn to unite and love each other.
Yep.
And we need to learn to build. So let's get to work.
Yeah.
We're ready to work. Let's go to work.
Let's get to work. Thank you.
Malo Pito. Thank you everybody for your time.
Thank you Veloa, thank you Lolinda, Maue, thank you Tulutulu, Kalaniuvalu, Au toi whamanata tai pēka ki mō tolu kau kainga whanongo tā pēka no o sia o ken kau silk tok sia o tā hawhi kau viewers. Toi toko lahi mai nea maha koe after hours. Koe
1,000 views.
koe mō uilelei, koe kaweinga koe ne mea mō uilelei, koe health, koe ako, koe promote and education economic o Tonga, moe drugs violence prevention. Hange ko ia ko whenga i ngai whonga ke ta ofi aki ai mawhola ko ni ai whaito o kona tapu pa mono whakahauwhi o e tau tupu o e whonua me ngahi mea koe ni. O whamalo lahi atu e whine motu ane whi ngāwe ake mau platform ko ia ai Pacific Tonga, leo e Pacific Tonga. Ko i ngā ke whakaau atu ke o tau ka i ngā, ko i ngā ko e polokalama ko ni, o ku tau ako katoa pea o kai pe mo ki grupu o ko kawa o ko Small Business Association pea o ko tui te nau fie lahi au pito i he mea koe ni whakapōtala noe a honi tau ako katoa me iai Tonga for Tonga, and also you already have everything lined up and it's very organized, easy to follow, and then hange ko la tau osi mahino pe you plan to fail and you fail to plan, you know. Ko ino o si whanonga tau ia ko mō mea, o si mau pe poutiliki a wha o hange pe ko mō ngahi. Fo i kawe inga ko ino whai ake ngāwe. Pa ko tui pe ko ia mahalo whakaamu ko atulu, ke ne hanga whakahoko, ke tōni i ake au nau wāhenga. Whamalo lahi atu. Thank you everyone for tuning in to the Voice of South Pacific, Tonga for Tonga, with Tulutulu Mafua Lotele Kalaniuvalu. He's running for Tonga Tapu Hongofulu, and that's what it's all about, you know. For the health, the mo'ilelei, promote and education, you know, higher education in Tonga. Toka ngā i matonga ni e whānau ako. Economic development ko a Tonga, mo drugs violation, prevention, ko e tata of ko e whaitok kona tapu. Ko tā wā umai nge whaosinga polokalama, e lava ne hoa iwa e tau pōta tala pe au whaka o wha au pito. Ko tui e toe a, o koe ki he kahoko, te tau tau hoka tu pe koe kawenga mahu i ngai ni pe lava ke tau wako mo tau ilo ngai mea ke tokoni. Neongo e tau whakapaia i muri, ka koe ni lava ke tau whi connect ake mo tau whi hokotaki, mo tau kakai tonga hange ko vea loa. It's American boy, but now he's also a Tongan Hatio boy. Yeah, Tulu.
Po Tonga!
Seattle baby boy, but now he's a grown-up baby Lapaha boy now.
And he's running.
Yeah. Lolinita Maue, Malo Opito.
Malo.
Ofatu.
Momea.
Silvia, hati maaho, pehe ki hoa ngā we, Brenda Kongaika. Pea pehe whake mau ensini a koe aho koe toi la paha i pe mo ia te vita una hefa.
Have a great day.
Mahalo. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, Loa.